Hello everyone, welcome to today's Zoom educational session on Bereavement Support Groups 101. My name is Smriti. I am a volunteer here at New England Hospice, and I've also had the privilege of interning this summer. During that time, I spent an extensive period learning about bereavement groups and developing actually a virtual one for New England Hospice, which I will discuss a little bit later. So I just want to say thank you again for joining us. All right, let's get into it. So what is a bereavement group in the first place? And one of the definitions that I really liked was that it's for a group of people who want to come together to discuss and learn about one another's experiences that they've had with loss. And that really sums it up pretty well. All right, so there are different group types that we'll be discussing for bereavement groups. The first one is open-ended, the second one is closed-ended, and the other one is specialized. So open-ended means that the group is open to anyone. Anyone is free to join. There isn't necessarily a limit of how many participants we can have. And this is sort of opposite to closed-ended, which is specific. Sometimes it's by invitations. Usually you only have somewhere between 8 to 10 or 12 participants. They try to keep it close and very personal. And finally, we have specialized groups. This is for certain conditions or illnesses that a loved one has gone through. The group is specialized for that. So, for example, this summer we were considering to start a COVID-19 specialized virtual bereavement group. Now, what that means is that people who have lost a loved one due to COVID-19, they might get an invitation to join, and this is something that they can participate in. And as such, we have different specialized groups for different causes and different illnesses. All right, let's get into the meat of it. So what exactly do we do in bereavement groups? These programs generally run for 8 weeks, and so there's a combination of these 3 different things listed. There's education, discussion, and activities. Education is typically addressing perhaps the condition or the illness that created the loss of your loved one. And this is very critical because if we can understand the condition that took away our loved ones, then we can come closer to maybe accepting and understanding their loss. This is especially huge with COVID-19 right now. And it's been very difficult because we don't know the nature of the disease, and sometimes it can be unpredictable. Maybe we are wearing our face masks and we are socially distancing, yet our loved ones still had to suffer through this. And so maybe not just for COVID-19, we talk also about dementia and other conditions where we might experience the loss of a loved one. And understanding that will help us come closer to acceptance. And the next point that I want to draw out is discussions. This is when we talk a little bit heart to heart about what does it mean to lose a loved one. And on the right here, you can see the Kubler-Ross grief cycle. These are 5 steps that are commonly known when someone experiences grief. We have denial, anger, depression. People begin to bargain, and eventually they come to acceptance. And it's important to look at each element and internalize that, understand what it means for us personally, because each individual is different. One person might be in denial in a different way than another person might be, or maybe someone is dealing with depression at a more extreme case than another person is. And so it's important to come together to discuss these points and have a very heart-to-heart conversation so we can better improve ourselves and our state of mind and our health and our well-being, of course. And so our last point is activities. So what are these activities? We basically have these in order to promote discussion. That's generally how they're structured. And I'm just going to list a couple activities for you. This can include writing letters, reading literature. We sometimes watch videos, listen to podcasts, create art, or attend group walks, participate in meditation sessions, and sometimes even, play games. And the ultimate end goal of all of this is so we can draw back into the idea of discussion and understand what grief and loss means to us personally. Alright, so now that we understand what is a bereavement group, what we do in a bereavement group, let's talk about who can participate. Now, this is a little bit tricky. Most people would take in participants who have lost a loved one for more than 6 months. The reason for this is that facilitators want to give a chance for individuals to process their grief, have time to think about what's happened, and how maybe their roles and responsibilities in life has changed. A really great example would be maybe a husband losing a wife, right? Um, what does that mean for the husband? What roles does he now have to take on? How are his responsibilities a little bit different? Um, and maybe communicating with his other family members, maybe the children, how their life is different. And really, we want someone a little bit with uh, who's had time to accept this grief to a certain degree, of course, so that so we can participate in it. All right. So, how is it beneficial? Now, the benefits of being in a bereavement group is absolutely tremendous. It's so empowering. Um, it gives people a fresh perspective, first of all, in life. Maybe you've been stuck in a dark place for a really long time, and hearing someone else speak about maybe what's helped them might connect with you, and it might make a big difference. Having that fresh perspective. For example, I know someone, who's been staying alone, staying at home for a while, um, and a friend of theirs suggested, "Oh, why don't you come to the gym with me?" Or "This is what I do to mentally calm myself down." And that gave her a fresh perspective. Joining the gym, going and exercising, working on yourself, working on your body, and your mind. These are things that you would definitely benefit from a bereavement group, getting that fresh perspective. The other major benefit is a sense of belonging and hope. Um, Usually, in these 8 weeks, you really get to know the people who are in your group, and you see that you're not alone. Many people are going through the same process. There's a sense of unity in a group, a sense of cohesiveness, and you see you're not alone. You belong, that there is hope for improvement, there is hope for a better life. And you can see like beautifully in this right image right here, it says grieve not alone. And that's a big component of bereavement groups. And like I mentioned, you develop friendships. You get to know these people very intimately over a long period of time. Um, and often what happens is after the bereavement group ends, people are a little bit upset. People try to exchange numbers from each other so they can further this relationship that they've developed with the people in their group. And these can end up being really lifelong friendships. So the benefits of a bereavement group is undeniably amazing. Okay, so now you might know all the components of a bereavement group, from what is it, to what we do, to who can participate, and why it might be beneficial. Um, so at this point, if you're curious about how I can participate, well, let's get into that. Now, as I mentioned this summer, I worked very hard on creating this virtual bereavement group for New England Hospice this summer. And let me tell you a little bit about these 4 points: structure, This is, like we mentioned at the beginning, the different types of bereavement groups. This one is a close-ended bereavement group. It runs for about 8 weeks. We try to do it at a very convenient time in the evenings, so if people have to go to work, they can go to work and drive back home and still be able to attend this. Typically, we're going to try to aim for 6:30. An interface. Now, we'll be using Zoom. If you're not familiar with that, or if you don't have that much experience, uh, don't worry about it at all. We can help you. We can help you understand how to navigate that and work through that. So please don't make that a deciding factor for not joining, maybe. We can definitely work with you and be flexible and help you navigate this. And the last point that I want to mention is facilitators. So the two facilitators will be myself, and as well as Jessica. She's wonderful. She's a social worker. I think many of you might know her. If not, like I said, she's amazing, very friendly. She's well versed. She's been here for a while, and I think she'll have a lot to share as well. Um, So we want to know what you think. If you've watched this video, if you've gone through it, this is something that might be interesting to you. Maybe you want to participate, maybe you don't. It's okay. Just email Jessica right there if you have any questions or your comments, your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. And I just want to say thank you so much for sticking around watching this. It's been a pleasure to share this knowledge with you, and I hope you really consider this bereavement program um, over Zoom that we're planning to do. It would be so wonderful, and it would be a pleasure to help you get through this. So, thank you. Take care, and please reach out to us anytime if you need anything.